Good morning, good morning, good morning. Warriors for freedom out there. Warriors for freedom out there. How y'all doing this morning? Well, I think I'm just gonna, I don't have a lot of time on my break today, so I'm just gonna read an excerpt from my book that I'm working on, chapter 15. It's called Temple Prostitutes. Are They Real? Temple Prostitutes. Here goes. There's a problem I discern in the body of Christ today. It's hard to articulate, and I have asked God to give me revelation in this regard. Prostitution in the church, yes, I believe I have some point in my Christian walk been a temple prostitute and a whoremonger, as it says in the old versions of the Bible. Maybe not intentionally, but I have brought my detestable behavior to church. And I believe many people, many men do as I did. I know you might not find these remarks, you might find these remarks startling or even theologically unsound. But that is a risk I am willing to take to get your attention. Somebody has to raise the issue as regards the body of Christ today. In the book of Amos and in other parts of the Bible, this matter has been raised. This brings one to ponder. What is the definition of a prostitute or prostitution as it relates to Christendom or God contemporarily speaking? Let's look to biblical dictionaries and see what they have to say. Prostitution means sodomite. Sodomite, Kaddish, or feminine Kedisha. Kedisha denotes properly a male temple prostitute. A male temple prostitute. One of the class attached to certain sanctuaries of heathen deities and consecrated to the impure rites of their worship. Such gross and degrading practices in Yahweh's land could only be construed as a flagrant outrage, and any association with those with his pure worship was abhorrent. And this is referred to in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 17. The presence of sodomites is noted as a mark of degeneracy in Rehoboam's time, 1 Kings 14:24, and Asa endeavored to get rid of them, 1 Kings 15:12, and Jehoshaphat routed them out, 1 Kings 22:46. Subsequent corruptions opened the way for their return, and Josiah had to break down their houses, which were actually in the house of the Lord, 2 Kings 23:7. The feminine Kedisha is translated prostitute in Genesis 38:21-22 and Hosea 4 verses 14, and in Deuteronomy 23:17. Prostitute. The King James Version margin says sodomitis. The Revised Version margin transliterates. The English word is of course derived from Sodom, the inhabitants of which were in evil repute for this unnatural vice. This is taken from a bibliography by James M.A., General Editor, Sodomite International Standard Bible Encyclopedia from 1915. In Amos chapter 2, verses 7 and 8, it says, "They crushed the head of the poor into the dust of the earth and pushed the afflicted out of the way. Father and son had intercourse with the same young woman, degrading my holy name. They stretch out beside every altar on garments taken in loan. In the house of their God they drank wine, bought with fines they imposed." This is from the CEB version. Okay, and there are a whole other host of references that I have here. But here I want to discuss today harlots in the church. As we look at the rampant increase of sexual addiction in the body of Christ today, my question is this: is it happening in the church today as it were with the children of Israel in Amos's day or biblical times? Should it be discussed, and what is its relevance to the sexual addiction in the Christian church in the 21st century? The Bible from Genesis to Revelation speaks of the harlot as regards the church. Whether one looks at it literally or figuratively. As we discuss sexuality in today's church, we must talk about our own Christian views, the secular view, and God's elevated view. My intention is to avoid the dogma as much as possible and simply look at what is really happening in the church today and our conscience as to prostitution in the church. How it has developed and advanced in sophisticated ways in our culture via technology. Its availability and our ability to mask our behavior as never before is unprecedented. The pervasive attitude that nobody has to know I struggle. I don't even have to leave home to indulge in adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, lust, or the like. I can do it all in the comfort of my home and then switch to Christian programming or my own church online and participate in Sunday rituals and festivities. And this I feel is okay. I can even solicit in the body of Christ. The church is a great pickup joint if you are a betting man or woman. I can go to temple however and whenever I please, and you should be grateful after all. There is so much more to do in life. So let's ask, can one really legislate what is happening as it pertains to sexuality, addiction, prostitution, idolatry, harlotry, and whoremongering in the church? The real question is, who is talking about it in an honest way? When last have you heard a sermon on this stuff? You think we would, since we discuss everything else in the mainstream media so illicitly. Are we as the body of Christ being hypocritical and politically correct in this? Certainly the world isn't. When will we grow a backbone as the body of Christ and really talk about it among ourselves rather than just watch others make up our minds for us while they pass legislation that will affect us and our kids? When will we continually cover up and sweep under the rug the misgivings of our leaders and our laymen and work hard to minimize the fallout in the secular arena? The world simply shake their heads in disgust. I'm going to continue a little later. I got to go. I'm praying for this country. Temple prostitutes, that's the subject. See you later.